You a spiritual person?
I am not. That being said, like I'm very much a person that like I'm more scientifically minded. So for example, that being said, I've read articles that'll say that people that get prayed for example, recover at a higher rate. That's to me not a coincidence. I don't know if it's causation or correlation, but that has been proven that people that get people to pray for them and whatnot, they tend to recover at a higher rate. Yeah, you can look it up. So I'm not spiritual, but I feel like if that's your thing and you're rooted in it, it doesn't hurt. Religion could be a terrible or great thing, but you're talking about more spirituality. So I think that there's more than just this life. I think there's more to it all, but I'm not religious. If that makes sense.
What is it? What have you done?
I guess it would be agnostic is the
definition. Have you done drugs?
I've done drugs, yes.
Have you seen God?
So the drugs that I've done acid, I've done ecstasy, I've done shrooms. The most shrooms that I've done at once is like 4 grams.
You can see God on.
Yeah. So here's the thing, so I heard you and Hunter talking.
I say see. It's
no,
more
I feel
like
you. Yeah.
You're like, oh, I feel you. I know you're there.
No, yeah. Let me put it like this, okay? So I heard you and Hunter talking about doing drugs, and he has like no experience apparently.
Yeah, fucking punk
bitch. Yeah. Do better. No. But I remember the first time I did shrooms. I was at this. I lived in a duplex, and I was doing it with 4 of my friends, and the 5th person that was with us, it was 6 of us all together. He wasn't doing any, but the rest of the 5 of us were. And the way that the night turned out was, I've learned from this experience that the favorite thing I like to do. Some people like going outdoors and all this different shit. I just love having conversations while I'm on shrooms.
Sure, yeah.
Let's have some like high level conversation because it takes you out of your box and whatnot. And so the way the night was going was, if you sat on the staircase, you led the conversation. And it was getting to the point where
it was a game y'all were playing?
Yeah, it was more so like, what do you want to talk about? Well, all right, let me go next. I want to talk about this.
That's so cute.
Yeah, right. And it's also like clearly like some drug shit. Like,
yeah.
But what's crazy is the one guy that wasn't on shrooms, he goes up and like just from the vibe of everything that we're talking about and how much like real shit we're talking about, he goes up and talks about like how much it affects him that he's like the only one in our friend group that doesn't have a relationship with his dad. And like he's talking about like, and like he's being vulnerable and like just like letting us know how much this hurts him and stuff. And it's like, that's the kind of shit that shrooms can do, is that you can have like some real ass convos that you would have never had with somebody.
Right.
Just because, and he wasn't even on shrooms, but he got the vibe of the room. You know what I mean? It's like, I can be vulnerable right now.
Right.
I can be honest with these guys right now. So that's pretty dope in my opinion. Like I would say, like, if I was a politician, I would do a psilocybin initiative. Like, if you do 1/8 of shrooms, I'll give you $150.
I would vote for that nigga immediately. The psilocybin initiative,
bro. Like it wouldn't do damage.
No,
like I legitimately believe that some races.
What would be the initiative?
The initiative would be like, come to your local office, pick up 1/8 of weed and a check. Basically,
of
take
weed?
an 1/8. My bad. 1/8 of shrooms.
Yeah.
Like, go home, take a recording of you taking the shrooms, and like do like hour check marks of how you're experiencing it, and submit it, and we'll send you a $150 check after you're done. Just saying, like, thank you for doing it.
You gotta up it.
You'd be surprised, bro. Niggas are broke out here.
I mean, okay, yeah. The only people that would do that would be people who already like shrooms.
Yeah, okay.
If you try and get the convert.
I watched a 60-minute special where this lady said, like, because they were doing like concentrated psilocybin like shots or whatever, where they were making people lay down, cover their eyes, and just experience it. And this lady said that she said that she would put it on the level of experience-wise throughout her life, like how important it was with that of having her kids. Like the moment,
for sure.
Yeah, so like it can be transformative. Like,
oh no, I know. I know it can be. I wish I did the ayahuasca.
You did it already?
Yeah, I did it already.
What day did you go?
When?
Yeah, what day did you?
We did it Saturday.
Because I know you were talking about going, so y'all drove up and everything.
Yep, drove up Friday. And
did you throw up?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So what was the experience like for you, and what was it like for her?
So for both of us, it was not our most intense psychedelic experience. Okay. So both of us feel like we didn't get the full thing. Yeah, unfortunately.
What is your biggest psychedelic experience? Shrooms?
I took like 4.5 grams one time, and I was fucking like, if there's if there's like a bar, like I imagine like a bar that. Like a health bar in a video game, and it's like 100%. It's like normally I'm 100% Tyler, and then when I took those shrooms, I was like, oh, I'm now at 20% Tyler, 80% shrooms. I'm mostly not there anymore. It's mostly the shrooms.
Funny. No, I feel you.
And it's like I really had like a real spiritual like, oh fuck, and just like close my eyes and could feel.
Looking at the macro, not just the micro.
Yeah, and I remember I had visions of like a seed going in the ground, and then the plant grows, and then
this is from the shroom strip or the
shrooms.
Okay.
And then the farmer chops it down, and then the food we eat
nourishes us.
Like the cycle of life happening, and I was just watching it happen with my eyes closed, like fuck, man. And my friends was like, dude, we're gonna watch fucking Midsummer. We're gonna watch Steven Universe. And I was like, bro, I'm coming. You know? I'm like, but man, I had a real feeling of like, oh, God is a real thing. I mean, as far as whatever God is.
No, I feel you.
God, he, they, it. It's like,
I feel like
real.
you can't have a major psychedelic experience and then walk away thinking this is it.
Yeah.
You know, there's planes of existence that we're not even experiencing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If I really feel like whenever I'm in my most, like, even when I meditate real good, or like, I remember there was a time when I was like microdosing a good amount. I remember driving in my car and seeing everything and feeling like the reality that we're looking at is just like it's like taking this White Claw and putting a blanket over it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we just see the blanket. We don't see what's underneath. And like, but in like not in a 3D.
This experience is surface.
Yeah, like not in a 3D, like not in a 3D way, but in like a 4D way. Like even if you dig into the ground and you're like, but let me break through. It's like, it's all this reality is this surface. And there's I had this this real feeling of like, this is all an illusion, and there's something much more deeper in another like
plane,
fourth, fifth dimension that we can't experience because we're stuck in this 3-dimensional place. It felt really vivid to me of like, oh, our minds can't comprehend what the fuck is
just
happening.
Like, for example, like when you see like certain patterns in reality and whatnot, I feel like that's like almost like tapping into it all. It's like, this is common throughout everything or something like that, and you notice it or something, and it's just, I get what you're saying there. So real quick, y'all went up there. Y'all took it. Did you was it in the morning you took it, or like what was the situation? Sundown, and was there a shaman that was with y'all?
There was a shaman.
Did the shaman take it with you guys?
Chris the shaman, yeah.
Okay, he took it with y'all.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Was it a group or was it just y'all two?
It was about maybe 25 people.
Okay. Did you make any friends out of the group?
No, we did not like these people.
Why is that?
Because
just the vibe of them, the cut of their jib.
They were very nice people.
But this is an experience for you guys together, kind of.
Yeah, there was that, but also it was just like, it was like, imagine, okay, so we're in Colorado, and we go to this small town, and then we drive outside of the small town, and then we drive like 13 miles into the woods. Like, it's like they could have killed us and buried us and ate us, and it would have been, they could have burned our car, and like,
just the start of a scary movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like easy. Like, we were totally vulnerable.
A lot of trust was involved in this experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they could have fucked us so easily.
Yeah, you know? Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, in any way possible. Yeah. And but they were all very nice, and it was basically like a cult. Like it was
a commune at least.
Yeah, it felt like Chris was the cult guy.
Yeah,
he was like the leader, and
he's fucking everyone's their wives.
And he felt. I remember I asked the dude who welcomed us there. It wasn't him. I was like, "How did this place come to be?" And he was like, "Well, it probably started with Chris. Chris was always a person interested in consciousness. Even from a young age, at 5 years old, his mother said that he would stare in the mirror and look at himself, trying to see what he was seeing with." And I was like, nigga, this is a cult. I know a cult when I hear it. I asked you a simple question.
You look at your girl like, you sure you want to do this?
I mean, I said, how did this come to be? I meant like, well, we paid this guy. Like, how did you get this land?
I meant literally, how did it start out, bro?
I'm like, I don't mean like,
it all started in a summer morning.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, this is fucking weird shit. And we go there and we take the little cup. I didn't know if I wanted to do it.
Yeah. Are you still on the fence?
I mean, I think
even after the 15-hour drive,
I was nervous, and I was telling myself, hey, if you don't feel like doing it,
if you want to tap out,
if you could tap out. And then, but then we're sitting in it's sundown. They're handing out cups of ayahuasca, and I'm like,
fuck it.
This is a tough time to say no. I'm smelling it.
This is like you're on the 1 yard line. You got to.
Yeah, I'm like, and I'm just like, and I did that shit, and I was like, fuck. How
long did it last? Like 12 hours or?
No, like we were done at midnight. Took it to 8, maybe done at 4 hours.
Oh, so it's less than like an acid trip then, because acid.
Oh, acid. I mean, nothing's as long as an acid trip.
Acid takes
like 12 hours. Yeah.
Like that's the one negative. Like you're not going to sleep or nothing until like a little.
Well, I mean, we would wake up in the morning and do it.
Okay.
We'd wake up early. So.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I did that shit.
By the way, real quick, a lot of black people don't do psychedelic. Like I feel like black people need to do more psychedelics overall. Like black people will delve into like weed, and then like when they go into harder drugs, it's more like the cocaine, like cracks thing.
Yeah, like either numb or party.
Yeah, they don't
It's
really
not
delve into the psychedelic of like what is life type of drugs. You know?
I wonder what that is.
I don't know, but it's definitely a thing.
I think if I had to put it on, I would put it on religion.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. No, I mean religion's one of the worst things. If you ask me, what organized religion is one of the worst things that's ever happened to Black America. Like, do you remember when that lady went into the house of that guy and he was eating ice cream and she shot him thinking that she was in her place, but it was his place, but she was on the wrong floor?
I think I remember the story.
And then when she like got her sentence of like 15 years or whatever, the brother of the guy who died was all like, I don't want you to go to prison. And like, he's like gave her a hug and shit. I'm like, bro, keep that shit to yourself. Like that whole, like the whole mantra of like the meek shall inherit the earth, like turn the other cheek, like that was used to keep us in bondage, you know what I mean? Like to justify the treatment that we were getting. And it's done more than it's been generations later where shit will happen to us that is egregiously just like terrible, and we'll be like, I don't blame you though. It's like, no, fuck that bitch. Your brother was eating an ice cream sundae in his own place and got shot.
Man, it's really hard to be Black.
Because
I'm thinking about it. This is how I break it. This is how I feel. Is like when I hear that story and I hear Christianity was the worst thing that happened to Black people. Like my initial reaction, especially since you're asking me about the spirituality of the ayahuasca trip, and then we go into this. My first reaction is like, nah, man, because it's not like
you through
it's not like if we weren't Christian, we would have rose up. Yeah. Like that wasn't a possibility.
No, it wasn't the only thing. Yeah, for
sure. That wasn't what was holding us back.
Yeah, that wasn't the glass ceiling.
That was just what made us
subservient.
That was just what it was. Just it was a what is it?
It's the apple that makes you like. It'll get better.
What's the word? Like religion is the opiate of the masses. Okay. That's all it was, which is fine. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like that whip is what kept us. That's what kept us fucking working, man.
In fact, they had guns and we didn't. Strong reasons.
That had much more power than Jesus did.
No, for sure.
And the teachings of spirituality and Christianity, and obviously it has its problems and dogma and religion. People take it and turn it into something else. But like, while I was on ayahuasca, it wasn't a very intense trip. I saw a fish at one point. That was kind of it. I saw there was a dude with a drum, and then I looked at the drum, and the drum was kind of turned into a fish and kind of swam at me for a split second, and I was like,
oh shit.
I was just kind of like, oh, I see what ayahuasca could be. I didn't take enough, so that was that. Okay. But like,
you got a sample.
If I had taken more, it would have been like, whoa. Yeah. So like, I'm on and one of the things I got to is I was in there, and everyone's purging, everyone's throwing up in the buckets, and it's just happening constantly throughout the 4 hours. And I never purged at all. And I was sitting there.
Did your girl?
She did a couple times.
Okay.
And I was sitting there and I was like, well, yeah, of course I didn't purge. I don't have anything to work on.
I don't have any impurities.
I mean, pretty much I was like, because my girl was going there to like heal some trauma.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people do ayahuasca to heal some trauma.
And that's what they say it does. Depression goes away for some people.
I mean, that's what Neil talked about.
Yeah,
Neil
exactly.
Yep. And I don't. And I don't really have trauma like that. Yeah. So I felt sort of out of place in that. And that was the narrative that was in my head. And I was just hearing people throwing up, and it sounded awful. I mean, it just sounded like they were fucking
violent.
Some of it felt kind of violent. And I was like, man, that sounds so unpleasant. I was like, I hope they're okay. And I was like, fuck, all these people are just here to heal themselves. That's all these people are doing.
It's therapy.
They're just trying they're going out to the fucking woods in Colorado where they could be killed and raped and murdered just for the chance to heal whatever the fuck happened to them in their lives. And it was just this very profound thing of like, oh, there's so much sadness in this room, but there's so much courage in trying to fix it.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? And then you come out of that situation and you're like, how could Christianity be the worst thing to happen to black people? If it's possible to give them that, if it's possible for a black dude to be shot and killed, and then his cousin, what did you say?
Yeah, his brother.
His brother was like, yo,
I don't think you should go to.
We're all just trying to fucking heal, man. I'm sure you were afraid too. I'm sure you walked into your own house, you thought, and killed a guy, you thought, and I'm sure you feel terrible about it. And it's not gonna bring back our son.
Yeah.
So fuck it, man. I don't want you to go to jail. I'll give you a hug. I wish you the best, because the world's full of suffering, and what we can do is we can try to help each other heal and get better,
And I feel that. I feel that. But like my whole thing is.
But here's the thing. Here's the button to it. But then after we do the ayahuasca, of people who live in the community, there's one guy there who's black, and his job is to clean the purge buckets. And I was like, fuck these racist ass cracker motherfuckers making the one black dude with dreads clean all the fucking throw up. Man, fuck these white people. Christianity was the worst motherfucking thing to happen to black people, because I bet you this nigga,
look at this subservient bitch.
This nigga right here thinks he's like, well, I'm just doing what the mother ayahuasca told me. Nah, nigga, you doing what white folks tell you to do. You fucking slave out here, okay, in the fucking mountains of Colorado. You fucking kidding me? You better put all this shit in one bucket and throw it in Chris's motherfucking face. Why the fuck are you? And he did it the night before, and then he did it the morning of. And I'm like, why are you still cleaning these white folks' vomit?
That's pretty bad. The one black guy.
I'm like, what the? Everyone's inside eating breakfast, eating eggs, talking about
that was great.
Trip. Oh my God, it was so fucking magical. I really learned something about myself. It's like while the niggas outside cleaning the fucking buckets. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So
maybe religion was the worst.
It's hard to be a black person. It's hard to you have your humanity, and then you're like, these crackers right now. Oh, these crackers. Oh, these crackers doing it again. That was great. Oh my God. So
it's like the greatest hits, if you will. Tale as old as time.
I mean, so I don't know.
And my issue with him saying it out publicly like that was more so like, and it's not his fault, but like you're speaking for all of us right now, low key. Like, and we don't want to hear that shit. Like, we're just glad the lady got some time, because that wasn't even guaranteed.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now your bitch ass is like, we just don't think you should have any time. It's like, well, keep that to yourself.